index your pages and content. We'll also carry out URL mapping to determine which pages should be optimized for what keyword. We optimize your search engine tags, including your meta tags, allowing your site to communicate better with the search engines. We will optimize page titles, descriptions, and even alt text or images. Tweaking your coding will enable search engines to index your pages faster and rank them higher for your chosen keywords. We utilize social media and social publication. When we publish new content on your blog or anywhere online, who knows about it? We make sure everyone knows about it. We make sure that when we publish content about you, everyone in your social world and beyond will know about it. We set up accounts for you in the top social media and social sharing sites, the top blogs, as well as the top press release sites. When we publish content, we let the world know through the accounts that we've established online for your company. We build and attract natural links. Because of the high quality content we create, we are able to attract natural links. Authority sites are more likely to link back to your site and therefore pass link juice to your pages. We carry out natural link building techniques that do not over-optimize anchor text or use any kind of black hat scheme that violates search engine guidelines. The more quality links we build to your website, the higher your website will rank, the more visitors you will get, and of course, this will turn into more sales. You need to ensure that your provider understands your business and your industry. After all, your provider will serve as your online machine. They must have your marketing objectives as the blueprint in their mind to ensure that every effort is working toward your business goals. Your online marketing company should be capable of laying out the business plan to your online success. But in order to do that, they must intimately understand your business and your business plan. We want to get to know you. That's why, unlike other providers, we first go through an in-depth consultation with our clients. We want to thoroughly understand what your business is, who your target customers are, and how we can help meet their needs. This way, we are aligned with your goals. We'll propose ways on how we can help you based on the research we do and our free consultation with you. We are here to help you grow your business. We have the know.
I don't mean to make you sit through all the rah-rah about us, okay?
That's what I've ever seen.
Well, thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The idea is that I want you to take away the big picture ideas. Did you guys see the visual on the structure of the pages? And there were things in there that you can do yourself. What we're talking to you about here in this room is a 10. Let me be very clear. If you came to me and you asked me to do SEO, be prepared to make a serious investment because it's a lot of work, okay? So it's not free by any stretch of the imagination. However, what I hope you walk away from in this room is an understanding of what you maybe need to think about doing and looking at your website. And I can promise you that anything you do using the things that you've learned today in this room is going to be better than what you have now. And it's a process, so start there. Okay, so I'm not saying, don't talk to us about SEO, not by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, I just want you to understand that this is about understanding the concept so that you can take away and have useful tips and tools, and you get to a place where you want some help. We're here. We're happy to do anything that we can. But what we want first. So that's really what we want to do. And okay, so not all SEO is created equal though, and rules do change all the time. As a matter of fact, when they were talking about backlinks right there, okay, just this last December, you see this? Just this last December, there was a huge change in the Google algorithm which dramatically affected local search. And one of the things it did a change on was backlinks. And one of the things that we're going to talk about in a minute that is far more credible that they're really looking for is directory listings for a local business. They're giving much more value to directory listings than they ever have in the past, and far less credibility to backlinks, especially backlinks that are geotagged, meaning Orlando Plumber, tagged with a geographic keyword. Okay, this right here. Okay, and if any of you have ever dealt with anybody in the SEO world and felt like you're taken advantage of, okay, that may have happened, okay, but It is important to know that those of us in the industry deal with change at the speed of thought. This right here represents just the 11 most critical Google search algorithm changes that happened in 2013 alone. 11. And that's just the most critical ones. And let me tell you something else. We don't know what that algorithm is. It is the world's best kept secret. We are part of a real strategic network of industry professionals that search and share ideas and share information and so on, and we work to figure it out, right? But it's kind of like your credit score. Does anybody know what the exact algorithm that the credit bureaus use to make up your credit score is? It's kind of the same thing with the search engine results, okay? So this is very fluid. And I know it's very frustrating to you, and I know many of you have ever felt that you've been taken advantage of in the past. But all I can tell you is put your big girl panties on and get over it, because it is what it is. So we have to be fluid, and we have to kind of work with it. And the best way to do that is by knowledge. If you have a clear understanding of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and what's been done to your site, and what strategies you're using or your search engine provider is using, when something happens, you can go back and say, well, gosh, I had all those organic, I had all those backlinks that said Orlando Plumber. No wonder I got, Google slapped. Because you don't understand, and that's what they call it. You get deranked, you get Google slapped. Can I tell you how much not fun that is? One day you got calls, and one day, the next day, you're in the graveyard, okay? It's bad. So anyway, so just understand that that's the way it is, okay? Now there's a whole different approach to local search, okay? And local search is really about your visitors finding you locally. In fact, I'm not even going to bother Google search. That's fine. Oops. Anything else?
Looking at the yellow pages, did you know there are even more ways for users to find a business nearby when they need them? Widespread internet access will mobile devices enable customers to learn what they need instantly on the go.
I have this great little tool that lets me speed things up.
Share experience online. Did you business capitalizing on this?
Called emails, and it's pretty good. Oh, come on. I'm sorry, guys.
If your competitors are as interested in success as you are, they will be optimizing their business for these increasingly popular tools.
Well, that's not okay. Well, that's okay. Bottom line, there's a little bit different a play that we do when we talk about local businesses, and one of the things that is very important is local directories. Okay, insider pages, city search, Yelp, all of those things. Okay, and not every single one of those directories are. A lot of them are targeted at different things. So Yelp, for example, is targeted at restaurants. But here's what happens, okay? And the reason that Google did this last algorithm change is because black hat, people who were trying to game the system, went and got all these unnatural backlinks that said Orlando Plumber, and Google said, why am I giving away my free search engine, my free results to people who are trying to game the system? So we're going to change our algorithm. And guess what? If a business is located in a directory like Insider Pages or Yellow Pages or Yelp, that's far more credible than a backlink that says Orlando Plumber, right? So they started giving, for local businesses, huge credibility to that. Now, that's great news. The bad news is, has anybody ever tried to go out and claim a lot of directories and get your business listed in the directories? Catherine has, okay? It's a nightmare, okay? You're going to have every directory under the sun. People are going to try to pay you, Yellow Pages has got this great program for you, okay? And it's only going to cost X amount of dollars, okay? And then the next thing you know, Insider Pages comes along and they've got this great program for you. It's only going to cost this amount of dollars. Some of it they update right away, some of it they don't, some of it's free, some of it's extra. It's all over the board. And you're dealing with all these different directories. It is a nightmare. And let me tell you something else, okay? It's extremely important. That listing in the directory is called a citation, okay? That is the mention of your business in a directory, and for every citation that the search engines find, you get a brownie point. The more brownie points, the higher your search engine. That's the good news. Here's the bad news. Within that citation, you have something called a NAP, N-A-P. Stands for name, address, and phone number. In order for you to get credit for that citation, your NAP needs to be an exact match. Oh, I heard the pain in the room. Okay, so if it said Joe's Plumbing and Hardware Store, Inc., at 123 SOUTH Apple Street in Sanford, Florida, in one directory, and the other directory it said Joe's Hardware and Plumbing at 123 S period Apple Street in Sanford, Florida. Guess what? Exactly. It is not a match. So you do not get credit for the citation. If you are a local business, you need to be focused on getting citations. They need to be exact matches, okay? That is absolutely, if you're a local business, two things. Have your local Google Plus page optimized, make sure you have your directory, okay? Now, we happen to be a Yext authorized reseller, okay? And I did this because I used to provide directory services for my clients. And all of the pain that I just described to you, okay, I was doing for my clients. I wanted to break out the Gillettes, okay? It was not fun. I could not accomplish it, okay? So we got approached by Yext and said, look, you're a trusted supplier. We do so. Now we are a authorized reseller for Yext. What's really cool about Yext is that you have 50 different directories and counting. Oh, YEXT. But you get it from me. You're going to get it from me cheaper than if you go to Yext Direct. YEXT. What's really cool, Catherine can tell you about Yext. She got on Yext, and what happened within days?
Within days, I was getting phone calls because the one thing that we did on Yext set me aside from all my other advertising was free consultation. So as soon as they called for the free consultation, I knew the Yext was paying for itself.
So what happened was, okay, she got 50 immediate citations. All of the directories say, guess what? Yext is a content aggregator. Remember we talked about content is king? So Yext is a content aggregator. All of the search engines say, if information comes from Yext, then it's real, it's valid, and it's far more credible than any other place. And so I am going to update my content immediately in real time from Yext. I'm going to accept that content. I'm not going to require it to be confirmed. I'm going to require it's going to be updated in real time. In addition to that, Yext has an agreement with all of the search engine providers that says, not only are you going to give me the free listing, but we're going to be able to let you do a power listing. So we are able to provide additional an upgraded listing as if you paid, but in one service. Things like anchor text back to a special offer. In Catherine's case, we did a free consultation. Things like if you're a restaurant, you can put in your menu. If you provide professional services, you can do a bio. If you're an author, you can do your bio. What is it? Menu listings, bios, attorneys, that kind of thing. All the bios, special offers, all that kind of good stuff, and added description about your company. And what's really cool is it's one dashboard that's updated in real time. And if any of you have ever had a directory listing out there that has been incorrect and you've tried to go in and claim it and get it fixed, has anybody ever had that experience? Okay, so you know how hard that is, right? So what we tell you is when you go onto the X platform, what we do, if you have multiple directories out there and one of them's wrong, claim the one as yours with the worst information. Right? Because guess what? In real time, it's going to get updated with the accurate information. And in the case of Catherine or the restaurant owner or whatever, if they want to change that free consultation offer to something else, you can do it on the fly, like that.
And also put me on the front page.
Oh, there's that. So, yeah.
How does it work for companies that don't have like a physical location presence?
I hate that question, but it's a good question. You know what? If you work from home, it is a challenge. I'll tell you that straight up. Okay. In Google, you can claim your Google Places page, and you can choose not to show your address. Okay. However, they still need your address. Google Places and local search was designed for local brick and mortar companies. Typically in the directories, you are going to need to have a address in the directories. If you are the type of business that would typically be categorized as a local brick and mortar, like a plumber, okay? So guy works out of his house, but he runs a big plumbing business. He's got an extra, office next to his house. Like I can think of one guy in Stanford we both know, like that, okay? If you're uncomfortable with publishing your home address, which I would totally be uncomfortable with publishing your home address, then what I would do is I would get an executive suite. Do not, under any circumstances, get a post office box, and do not get a UPS store type box. You need to get an official physical address at like an executive suite, okay? And that's really going to be your best bet if you want to rank. Otherwise, you go to Plan B. Okay? Plan B, you write like crazy. You're a fiend. You're phenomenal. I've watched you for years. It is phenomenal what you do. Okay? Right? Good. So, position, which is what she's done. She's positioned herself in the real estate industry as the thought leader. Okay? In her field, in training, okay, and real estate, and investment buying, and that sort of thing, right? So she's positioned herself as the thought leader in that field, and if she were to claim, maybe you have, your Google authorship, okay, that's one way to offset it. It's a very good example of understanding what the big pictures are, how it affects you, and then developing a strategy that will work for you. But that's the best advice that I can give you as it relates to that. Okay? All right. So the bottom line, this is your choice. This is the choice that you're faced. Okay? And I know this is really funny, and I think it was hysterical, and I had a lot of fun doing it. It was very real. And that's the reason I get so passionate when I stand up here in the room, because I really believe and I know with every ounce of everything that's in me that every business owner sitting in this room is faced at this crossroads. It's adapt or perish. Now, the other thing about branding, and it really has to do with that adapt or perish thing, okay, and I wanted to make this point, the reason that branding is so important because it says every business owner, you should also have an exit strategy. If you're not branding your business properly, you're diminishing your exit strategy. And if you're not adapting your business to be relevant, your business is going like this, you're diminishing your exit strategy. That make sense?
Yes.
Okay. These are the basic 8 local key search ranking factors. Proper categories. Google has categories when you claim your Google Plus page. Okay. You need to make sure that, like for example, I had a HVAC client in Tallahassee. I just did a big website for them. And we went and looked at all of the predetermined categories that Google Plus had as it relates to HVAC, and we tied those to his products and services, that category, and optimized that page for that category. So if you're a local business and you're going to optimize for Google, you need to look and see what their categories are. If you want to rank for Orlando, you have to have an address in Orlando. Do not think you're going to have an office in Sanford and have a rank for Sanford. Your other option, by the way, is PPC.
What is
Google Authorship, or just pay-per-click. You know, so if you're a local brick and mortar business in Sanford, but you do carpet cleaning, and you get there's a lot of industrial stuff up in Orlando, and you want to, get Orlando, you got two choices. Get yourself an address in Orlando, have a separate page optimized for Orlando, and go through all that, which is a lot, okay? Or pay-per-click, which is paid advertising. That's the way Google's driving us.
I had a question where you were talking about if you didn't have an office, but you wanted to be in Orlando, and you knew your accountant had a nice office. Could you ask that accountant, I'll pay you $5 a month. I just want your address with a suite number. Can you do that?
Excellent question. Thank you. Excellent question. Yes. However, always make sure that the address that you give to Google is unique. So, if your customer has an address that is 123 South Apple Street and it doesn't have a suite number, you're gonna list 123 South Apple Street, Suite 100. That isn't unique enough. If you take his exact match address, you're gonna kick him. You're gonna affect his rankings. Okay? If he has an address that already has a suite number, 123 South Apple Street, Suite 100, you're going to be 123 South Apple Street, Suite 100A. Okay? Now, there's a whole lot of ramifications that go with the post office and all of the things that go with that. I don't have time for that conversation here, but just suffice to say that's how you would handle that. We talked about maps and authority and citations and all this stuff. These are just the 8 most popular things. So 5 top action steps: claim your Google Plus page if you haven't already done it, optimize the page, update your website, and claim as many directory listings as possible, and attend regular seminars with GitHub by Design. Okay, we talked about directories and citations already. I kind of got off topic, so we're going to go through this. Now, if any of you are not, if you're not convinced by everything that I just told you, this image right here ought to convince you, okay? This right here is the ecosystem for local search. This is all of the directories and all of the feeds that affect how local businesses get found online.
So are you saying be on Facebook, be on Yelp, be on Twitter?
Exact match citations and NAPs.
Okay.
And look at this. What's right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a pipeline going into it all. Okay.
So you show the key or the YEX, that platform is the platform.
That's the directory platform, yes.
That will-
So for sender retreat, critical. Abraham Rose's seasoning, not so much. Okay, you would be looking at Google products. Okay, because you want to be on the e-commerce side.
Okay.
But sender retreat,
I need a.
Google Plus, and yes.
And one thing that people tell me when they put it in the request forever, they send him across the street from me, not to my address. So there is something wrong there.
Because you're not in the right place marker on Google Maps.
Okay.
Now, that depends on what system they're using. I don't know whether they're pulling the database from, but it may be fixed when you go through and click here. So this is the power listings, okay? Okay, this is really quick. How are we doing on? Okay, all right. Do we have any questions about any of those directories and all that stuff? Good.
Question, multi-location. You said something about no location. What about multi-location?
So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna have, and this is a very good question, you are now in that growing business where you have that issue. How you optimize your site is gonna be very, very, very critical. Do not, in the footer, put all your addresses, because that's gonna confuse them. This is a new change, okay? So we're not gonna do that, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna have a page that's gonna call locations, okay? And then it's gonna have a main page, and it may have the 2 locations, and then from there it's gonna have a sub-page, and we're gonna have this one optimized for DeBerry, and this one optimized for DeLand or Deltona, I think it's DeLand, yeah, DeLand, okay? And it's gonna be all about DeLand and real estate in DeLand, and then real estate in DeBerry, and it's gonna come off of this right here, and then you need a Google Plus listing for DeBerry, you need a Google Plus listing for DeLand, and your website address that shows up in Google Plus and shows up in all your directories is going to be Central Florida Home Pros, whatever your homepros.com /location/DeBerry. Does that make sense? Whatever that permalink is to this page. So when the search engines crawl it and they go find it, they see your citation, your nav, your hours of operation, everything matches, and it's all talking about DeLand or DeBerry, depending on which location you're talking about. Is that helpful?
So if it's in your footer right now, it's best to go ahead and.
Only if this only applies to multiple locations. You don't have multiple locations anymore.
Yeah, I do.
No, we have not. You quietly have multiple locations, but you haven't actively promoted those multiple locations.
I have on the website. Remember, I got
In a post or something. It's
on the front page now. At the lower. I didn't know I would have stayed with mommy.
You're getting that look.
I use Google Slack. Shoot. No, it's okay. Listen, breathe. It's okay. Okay? The world's not coming to an end. You know, it doesn't happen
I just
overnight.
did it.
You know, and the good news is you got a good provider to help you with it.
Thank God.
Okay, so, any other questions? Man, I'm doing pretty good. Nobody's got questions? Holy moly.
We have some.
I know, I'm sorry. Are you overloaded?
Yeah.
How many people are overloaded?
Oh, you saying, Marianne, at the,
Wendy? Okay, you're in trouble.
excuse me, who cannot be not overloaded.
I know.
I'm not afraid to ask any more questions because I don't want to get Google slapped.
I'm all yours. Ask away. Oh, nice. All right.
No, you're saying,
That back door again. I know you. I'm sorry. Where did you have a question? Oh, I'm sorry.
hello.
I'm sorry.
Here, echo in my ear. We find by the company like, go that, if you go that, would it be better to go, of course, you know, I would, you know, just find by design or go with go that? Or what?
Yeah, it's two completely different things. Well, you know, you can, of course I would like you to go with me, okay? Of course, all right? But at the end of the day, what I want you to do, the decision that you feel better, okay? Now, if you're, it depends on go with, what that means. You're not, but not like what you mean, it's a little different. It's not really, I'm sorry, Ruby. No, I forgot. No, you're right, you're right. Okay. All right, so, you know, if you're buying a domain, if you're getting started through HostGator, if you're getting a website done, if you do anything less than WordPress, you're crazy, okay? And whether you do that on WordPress.com or whether you do that with, please don't do it with GoDaddy with that, for that, okay, you can if you want, it's okay, or you can have us do it for you. So do you understand that there's different things there, okay? Whatever you do, go with somebody that knows what they're doing and where you feel comfortable and that you can afford. And if that means that you're starting off and you have to do all this yourself and come take our classes and do it that way, give for that. Just start. Just do something. Okay? Anything else? Any other questions, Dory? You were trying to tell me something I wasn't
I thought
understanding.
Larry had a call. A
Okay,
question.
Are you in part of this conversation because you have the two roads where you go one way and you perish and you go the other way and you succeed? Are you eventually going to get the money? Because that other road, when you succeed, you can very easily, with all the stuff you're talking about, put all your money into this and still perish.
Of course. Because guess what? If you're a lousy salesperson, or you have a lousy product, or you have competition that kicks your tail because your price point is wrong, I can't control any of that. Okay? Right? There's a lot of variables that go into that sort of thing. And life is a gamble no matter what you do. Okay? So here's the deal. Okay? You go in it with a strategy and with a plan. Okay? And in marketing and running a business, there's three things. There's a real simple rule. Okay? And it never ends. It's a constant cycle. It's called plan, do, review. Right? So you make a plan, you execute that plan, you review how that plan worked, and then you go and you know, change, adjust, and you make that new plan based on the results, okay? Execute those results, and it's a cycle and it keeps going. If you do it right, and you're honest with yourself about your business. I cannot tell you how many business owners I've run into that are clueless about the reality of their business. They have a logo that looks like a third grader made it. They're trying to sell a diamond to a pauper, okay? And I could go on and on and on, okay? So, and I'm going to tell you that. It's hard, it's painful, but I'm going to tell you that.
Well, I love everything you're doing, and I love the concept of what you've taken, and you've got tons of small business owners in this area that would love to have all these things happen for them. You know, I just, based on other companies I've seen, I just pray that you've taken that into account for the small business owners that are wanting to use your service.
If we were passionate about what we believe, Dory and I have been working small businesses, we've been married 25 years. We're going on our 25 for 25 years. We've done nothing but work small business.
What you're saying there, if she has taken me from a one-hour business, I do hypnosis. You think you aren't struggling? Try doing hypnosis for a living. Okay. She has taken me from a business that was on the second or third page, the front page. She has taken me from what last year I thought, should I close my business? And my God, I'm over the top. January has been the best months I've had since I started this business.
Yeah.
Because of that lady right there.
Right, no, I love
Did
it.
it cost me money? Sure
I'm
it
ready to
did.
turn over, I'm ready to turn
But
over.
you gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah.
I once was told by a smart man, a business with no sign is a sign of no business, whether it's on the internet or on 1792.
But I'm going to pipe in real quick, sorry, because you have a very, very valid point. I've been in your shoes, you know, inundated with, you know, all this, it all costs money. She said, you know, one bite at a time. And you do that within your budget. And that's one of the things that we do is we will stop and say, okay, this is where you want to go. And this is your budget, and come up with a tool that's going to
Maximize that at that time.
right that budget, because that is very, very important. And maybe something as simple as paper. you may want it for your budgetary needs, because most of us, how many when you hear pay-per-click, you want to run from the room, right? I did. I mean, I had my whole pay-per-click might be the best choice for you. So that's how you got to address that. And we would never make a blanket statement in this room on how to do that, because every business is different, and where every business wants to go is different as well. Some businesses cannot handle growing to 100 employees in a year. That would, like, you're right, it would cripple them, they would shut down. So you have to, that's what I would recommend.
So I'm not going to go through the pay-per-click, okay? There's, if you go on our website under blog, there's a video blog about pay-per-click. If you guys are interested in pay-per-click, go watch that video, because honest God, it's probably one of the best videos I've ever seen about pay-per-click. And there's one thing that's in that video, and it talks about remarketing. Write that word down, really, 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 really important, remarketing. If you go into a pay-per-click campaign, look at remarketing. And essentially what remarketing does is it captures the IP address of everybody that has come to your website. So every time that goes to other Google platforms, several billion different websites, your ad shows up. So they come to your house, your website once, and they find out your name, and all of a sudden they tell Jory, my husband, recently had a hernia surgery. And I went searching online to find the best place for his hernia surgery, and I found a place. Where did you just go on your trip to Florida?
Is it Denver?
No, Florida.
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers. Okay, the guy does the hernia clinics, the hernia technique, which it doesn't use mesh, right? And I was really excited, whatever. So I signed up. That's where he got his hernia surgery. I swear, from the minute I hit that guy's website, every place I went, Facebook, you name it, I kept seeing this ad for the hernia clinic. I'm like, hey, remarketing. Okay, huge. Okay, so PPC is not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. Yeah. Okay, pay-per-click, right? So we're going to talk really quickly about reputation marketing. That's the last thing I think we're going to talk about. Seth?
Yep, and then it's my turn.
Okay, we're going to take a break. Okay, so did you know? Is there people out there talking about you? Oh. Okay. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Would you buy a product? Yeah.
Did you offer pay-per-click in
Yes. Okay. So, would you buy a product or a service from a company that had bad ratings online? Remember that? Yeah, the stars. Okay. If you next time you guys just open your eyes. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They are showing up everywhere, okay? So let me ask you another question. If you had 3 services that were virtually identical, one service had 4 good reviews and 2 bad reviews, the second service had no reviews, and the third service had 6 5-star reviews, who would you do business with? Yeah, okay? Basically, your reputation is everything, and all of the rules have changed as it relates to online marketing, because a huge part of the Google algorithm now is having to do with reviews. So, yeah.
Reviews are all good when somebody go and give you a review and 4 stars and 2 stars, but there's also people that just go there just to,
of course,
give you bad reviews.
Of course.
Even if you give them good service, they're not satisfied.
Yeah, of course. And there's a strategy for that.
Okay, how do
you cannot get them, well, I'll tell you in a minute, okay? So we'll talk about that, and I want to address that issue, okay? So here's the game changers, okay? 80 million Google Plus businesses were merged with company websites, and it now reveals their website. A search of a company name plus the city is going to show their reputation online. That's a bad thing. You see this? This is what's showing up now. Well, this is showing their Zagat score. They've gone back to stars, okay? But it's showing their reviews. So let me paint a picture. Who likes my glasses? Somebody. Yeah, okay. So, you like my glasses? You know what? I got them at this really great store. It was called 2020 Eyeglass. There's one, there's one over by you in Castleberry somewhere, okay? Or Orange City. I don't know the number, but go look it up. Google it. You'll find it. Guess what happens? 2020 eyeglass, Google. Oh, hey, look at their reviews. They got some really bad reviews. Okay? You look at those reviews and you say, that's what my experience is going to be. So while I'm at that page, I see there's another eyeglass store. I think I'm going to go there instead. Okay? That's what happens. So you don't even know it. They're majorly integrated in everything now. They're in, this is the top, that colored area, that's pay-per-click. Along the side, that's pay-per-click. Here's Google Maps, okay? The reviews are everywhere.
The reviews work in a kind of a special way, and I really don't know much about it, but if I have in my business, in my local, I have a laptop that I can have my customer, but what if I can have, it works by the IP, correct? What if I have a tablet that works, it's a phablet really, it's a phone and tablet.
Maybe, I don't know, I don't know, okay, I don't know what IP is fully, but remember the word I used, Google slapped, okay? Remember I told you before how many changes happened in the Google algorithm, okay? 11 just last year, okay? Let me tell you a story about some car dealers. They used to have these little kiosks, okay? And people would buy a car and they'd have these little tablets out there and they'd have their customers come in after they test drive and they all the reviews and they have these reviews. And Google changed their algorithm and they made it look like your game system, like your unnaturally people. All these car dealers water and they got Google slash majorly. It's because what it said, what it looked like, it was coming from their store. Natural. It has to look at 10 reviews in one day. Okay. So that's the game changer. The truth of the matter is, I don't care what kind of advertising you're doing. SEO, social media, pay-per-click, local marketing, none of it works anymore.
How are you getting those rankings? We just looked up a couple and we're not finding it.
Oh, that's an old page. I screenshotted the page.
Okay.
That's an old and
Because we're not getting it on any of them.
yeah. It's what?
The rankings?
You know, when you were talking about the star rankings, 4-star reviews.
Some companies don't have reviews.
Well, as far as hypnosis goes, in Worcester County, when we pulled it up, nobody had rankings.
Well, that wouldn't be a good category to look for rankings.
Okay.
Yeah.
About me, how about it now?
Is there a review? Yes, there is. Okay. I'll share with you exactly how to do that.
What you were saying, stars and reviews. Being a Google photographer, most people don't realize that they even have a Google Plus local page.
Exactly.
And I talk to these people every single day. It's free, and they don't know that they have it.
Right.
And people are leaving comments on it. And like you were saying, those comments are either good or bad. And if they don't know they're there and they're not responding to them, then their ranking is going down.
Yep, and you know all those people that don't know they have the page and haven't claimed it? Guess what happened? As of February 26th, just 3 or 4 days ago, all of those pages got removed, or are getting removed. So it's a bad thing. So, and I'll show you how to how to find out. We'll talk about that in a minute, but that's a good thing. So none of it works anymore if you have a bad reputation online, is what it boils down to. And having good reviews sends you hot, pre-qualified, pre-sold customers because the buyers trust reviews. Now, I get it, okay? We all have the crazy customer that goes out and posts a bad review, okay? I get it, right? Okay?
They were,
You know, some of it is a crazy customer. Some of it is that you had a bad employee that had a bad day, or you had an employee that had a bad day. Some of it is that you're not good at customer service, okay? Some of it is stuff happens. I mean, I had a guy at the same restaurant. He had 3 major events happening in the same day, and 2 of the restaurants around him closed down. He was so slammed he couldn't control all the business. It was outside of his control because of circumstances, and he got some bad reviews about it because he had poor service in his restaurant that day. Okay? Yet the circumstances were beyond his control. But let me tell you what he did do. He knew about those reviews, and he responded to each and every one of those reviews. And let me tell you what happens when you respond. Exactly. And who are you responding to? Bingo, okay? You are not necessarily responding to the person who wrote the review, the bad review. You're responding to everybody who's reading it. Because why? Consumers see themselves in that review. As a consumer, are you a reasonable person? Do you understand? Do you intuitively understand that people have a bad day from time to time? Okay, so if I see a bad review, okay, and the owner has come on and said, I am so sorry that you had poor service that day. It is not what we like to portray in our restaurant, but we had 3 major events and 2 restaurants in the area closed. It was circumstances beyond our control. Please come back and see me. Let's see what we can do to make it right. Exactly, because guess what? I come in and I'm reading reviews, and I'm seeing, hey, guess what? That guy cares, and he's trying to make it right. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, does anybody know how to get rid of a bad review? No. Bingo! You bury it. Okay? You bury it with good reviews. You cannot get rid of bad reviews. And if the review is too old, it's not going to make any sense to respond to it. Okay? So you just bury it with good reviews. Let me ask you a question. If you saw a business that had 10 reviews, 9 of them were good ones, and 1 of, because the date it falls off, so only the top 10. So let's say 9 of them were good ones and 1 of them was bad ones. What would you think about that business?
They buried the review.
And that's for the most part, they're usually a pretty, they just had a bad day or a crazy customer. Okay? So, because 72% of buyers trust the reviews as much as a personal recommendation. And that's a 2012 stat. Okay, so, oops, I messed up. Oh well.
No, not you.
I did. I totally did. I'm so sorry. So the bottom line is, with reputation marketing, we do provide a reputation marketing. Now, I'll tell you something else that's really cool. Okay, one of the things about Yext, okay, Yext, you can, in fact, actually keep track of the reviews, and it's part of the portal. It sends you the reviews that come online through those 50 platforms. The other thing that you can do, if you want to find out what people are saying about you, and by the way, it's driven by your phone number. Okay? So go to this really great website, okay? It's called... Got it? Okay? And right here, free reputation report, okay? Free right there in there. And this will come up.
Would you like to know how to get your phone to ring with hot, pre-qualified customers every single day? Then you're going to need to learn the secret that very few companies know about. Because ordinary companies like this one have learned the secret and are getting 10 to 12 new customers every single week.
And this company is getting 6 to 8 new customers every single week. And this company gets 12 to 15 new customers every single week.
I'll let you guys go through that.
They get massive
Because
amounts
I want
of
to make
new
sure there's
business
time
every
for
single
Wendy.
day.
But the bottom line
And you
is
can too.
this explains about the reviews and how the reviews work. But all you have to do is put in your name, your email address, and your business phone number, and this will pull up. It will search. It will scrape all the review sites, and it will come up and it will show you exactly what bad reviews you have. It will show you what citations you have listed, whether you have an exact match or not, everything. It's a great report. It's absolutely free. I encourage you to go and run that report and see what you come up with. That's a very good place to start, okay? So,
If there's no reviews, what does that mean?
it means you're not trusted. That's what it boils down to. So the idea, what you want to do, is you want to build a strategy around reputation marketing. You want to you want to be proactive about getting reviews, okay? And when is the best time to get a review? Bingo! Give that man a free course, okay? All right? You just want a free course. That was a great one. Okay, at the point of service when the customer is happy for that review. Now, our review system happens, we have actually 2 different platforms. We've been talking about this for a long time, but we've actually ended up settling on 2 different platforms for Larry, the exact reason that you just mentioned, okay? What you're seeing here is a Cadillac. It is very powerful. We have another one that is much more customer involved. It's more of a dashboard like you see the Yext, and it's a little bit more affordable. But, you know, it's a monthly service because it's scraping, it's doing all that kind of stuff on a monthly basis. It's a very powerful thing. But let me ask you a question, okay? What's the value of a customer to you? The average order.
$150.
Okay, so if you have bad reviews online and you're losing 10 customers a month, what's that worth to you? You know, it's and maybe $150 at the time that they place that order. But I know I've come back to you many times for things, okay? And in your business, that's what happens, right? So reputation marketing is an investment in your business. It is not cheap, okay? I will tell you that right now, and it is an ongoing service. However, okay, if you're in the home remodel, let me not pick on an industry. If you have a product that is a high value ticket item, consider reputation marketing. Why?
Isn't every product like that?
No,
Every service?
no. If I went to a burger restaurant and my average meal was $15, and I went to a car dealership where my average sale is $30,000, pretty different, huh?
But each one is the same.
Yes, of course. I'm just saying the ROI is what I'm talking about, okay? The reputation would have to drive a lot more business to make the ROI make sense on a $15 sale as it would on a $30,000 sale. Okay?
So, Find by Design have different levels of,
GetFoundByDesign.com, yes, has different levels.
Market. I love you, Mary. You're my girl. But you answer that, you have different levels of marketing.
Yes.
For different prices.
Yes. You have to have a budget to spend though.
Okay.
You can't come to me and say, I have no money, because I can't help you. Okay?
No.
Right. So that's the, in fact, I'm glad that came up, because that's the exact reason that we have this classroom. I have spent 25 years passionate from the bottom of my heart trying to help small business America, okay? Because they matter to me. They are the backbone of what makes this country great. And I believe that from everything in my toes, okay? The problem is, I cannot service that crowd one-on-one and keep food on my table and not drive myself into the ground. So that's what this training center is about. This training center is about delivering knowledge and empowering businesses, even the smallest of businesses. If you have to start and sit your butt in this classroom and learn how to do it yourself, and that's what your budget dictates, by George, you finally have a place for that, because there's no place that you can get. Where do you know that you can learn just what I taught you today?
Nowhere.
So, you know, and if nothing else, what I pray for you guys and what I hope for you guys is that the next time, if you're dealing with somebody else, that's fine, I get it. Okay, it's okay. But at least deal with them with knowledge. Be empowered. Know what you're talking about.
On today too, if you're offering them any of the services that you're offering here, and you're not giving them the full potential of what you're offering here, you're offering them a disservice.
So yeah. So anyway, with that said, any other questions? Sorry, I got off my little soapbox, got a little passionate about that, but
Where on your page do we get to rate and do a positive?
okay. Thank you.
Show us where that is.
Post a review. Okay. So right here, okay, and what happens on our system is, look, I have these streaming reviews, okay, right here. I have a private review page, and what's really cool about this private review page is,
Would you like to know how to get your phone to ring with hot, pre-qualified customers?
Sorry.
Where do I buy that, Mary Ann?
I know.
Where do I get my page?
No. There we go. Post a review, okay? Should have hit the right thing. Did it go? Oh my.
Would you like to know how to get
I have that little link. I apologize. I'm embarrassed now. But there's a private review page, and you can post a review on there. And here's what our system does, because we kind of filter, okay? So it's going to come online, and it's going to say, it's going to give you a lot of post a review. And if it's a good review, if you give me 4 or 5 stars or above, it's going to take you to another video that's going to say, thank you so much for posting that review. And we know that customers who say good things also like to say these good things out on public search engines like Google, Yahoo, whatever, and you're going to see the link, and it's going to take you right to my review page on those particular sites, and it's going to give you a copy and paste button so you can go post that out in the public purview for me, which I would be very much appreciated on Google Plus and wherever. If, on the other hand, you give a bad review to me, okay, and think about if you're a restaurant or you're somebody else and you're using our system.
You bury it.
No, we don't bury it, okay, but we don't let it out on the public eye, okay? So what we do is another video is kind of this split thing, right? So this other video comes up, okay, enter the good guy, now the bad guy. I am so sorry that you clearly did not have the stellar experience that we hope all of our customers have. Clearly something happened. We'd like to make it right. Please contact us so that we can make that right. And we get email notification immediately. So if you're a business owner and you have our review system, if you have a customer that posts a bad review, you're going to get notified right away. It's never going to see the light of public, okay? And you're going to be able to deal with that employee or your whatever that situation instantly when it happened. If it's a good review, we're going to encourage that person to go out and post it publicly, and then we're going to also notify you about that immediately as well. There's lots of other, it also posts good reviews out on social media. I mean, it does so many cool things. So anyway, that's enough.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I noticed you use quite a lot of videos. How powerful a tool is that, and how expensive is it?
Who owns that channel? What's it called? YouTube? Yeah, it's very powerful. Very, very powerful. But what do you do? What is your business?
I'm starting a new internet business in skin.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you have a visual that skincare, if you have a visual that ties to it, you know, then there's a reason for the video. That's a very powerful thing.
Yes.
It's much easier to rank video than it is anything else. But again, remember all those buckets that I talked to you about that's on the table? It's just one of the buckets. You know, if you came to me and you wanted to do video and you had a really bad website that wasn't optimized for skincare and it provided for a very bad user experience, I would tell you don't do video.
Okay.
We gotta fix the foundation, okay?
Thank you.
Oh.
You can follow that up.
Let me just tell you something, I don't even try. I do not even try that. Again, and I'd like to reiterate, we are not expecting you to walk away with all the answers. What we're wanting you to have are the questions, okay? I want you to leave here with questions. So now you can make the right decision because you asked the question and gotten the answer. Does that make sense? This is very overwhelming. This is overwhelming to people who've been doing this for 25 years. This is not the business you chose. Anyone in here chose to do SEO for a business? See, oh, we've got 2 people, right? 2 people, really? Woo, amazing. Because it is very, very, very difficult and very, very time consuming. The rest of us don't want to do it because we're not crazy, right? We want to do what we're good at and what we know and what we love, and that makes a difference. Now, I can get on that soapbox for a while, and I can do that. That's what we want to be. Okay, I'm going to truncate social media a little bit, and I want to talk about just the optimization. Social media has so many variables, and I want you to think of social media as networking on steroids. Okay? When you go to a network meeting, what are you trying to do? Meet people. Build a relationship so that they will use you, or even better, introduce you to their friends. That's the best, right? When you go to a network meeting, it is more priceless to walk away with them introducing you to their friends than just doing business with them, correct? Now you understand what social media is. That's it. Okay? That dumbed it down to the very, very bottom, but that's what its purpose is. Depending on what you do, which platform is the best? That's it. Just like the buckets, you kind of need to be on all of them in some form or another, but some of them you do not need to be on a lot, okay? For example, and I'm not going to go through all the statistics, I have all of those, but how many of you are on Pinterest? How many of you love Pinterest? Okay, I don't know if you noticed, because I'm looking out and you're not, there was only a couple of gentlemen who said they are on Pinterest, and there are no gentlemen who say they love Pinterest. Do you know why that is? 80% of all members on Pinterest are women. It's shocking. Would you like to know what the number 2 selling platform on the online is? Pinterest. Now ask me what Pinterest sells.
Nothing.
Not a thing. They don't even charge you to be on there. But they sell, they're number 2. So do you think if you're selling a product that your demographics is women, do you think you might want to be on Pinterest? No. I'm a woman, so this is probably not, this is, But who does most of the spending in your household? The women. You're seeing yeah. I wouldn't go there, but you're seeing a trend here.
Please, I'm sitting there.
A couple of things. Okay. See all this mess? Let me get this up here. I like it when they. See all this mess? That's social media. How many of you want to do all that? Yeah, no, we need it. So, the idea again, engagement, amplification, and reach. I just said that. Just like networking. You want to meet them, you want them to refer you, you want to meet their friends. You need to determine your target, your demographics. Who are your customers? That's their age, race, sex, income, who they are. You've got to know that. in order to, where do they live? That's the other thing you need to know. Okay, that's your demographics, psychographics, who they are, what are their interests and attitudes. Depending on this answer for your business is going to determine where you want to spend the majority of your time with your social media. Remember I said you really kind of need to be doing all of them, but you don't need to necessarily put a huge amount of effort in all of them. Because I don't know about you, but I don't have infinite amounts of time. Couple of things, and I'm not going to go through all of this, but I do want to point out a few things. Facebook. Facebook is a platform for interacting socially. You go to Facebook because you want to talk to your friends, right? If your business is going to lend itself to that, you need to keep that in mind. 751 million users access Facebook from their cell phone. I know, who would think? 23% of your of the Facebook users check it 5 times a day.
I'm not one of them.
I mean, the statistics are crazy on Facebook. You have to have a presence. You have to be there. Now, we were just talking about reputation marketing. One of the things that we do is if a good review posts, if we can post it out on social media, don't you think it would be nice to have this review post out on your Facebook page? Great content. Twitter. 288 million monthly active users. Who does Twitter? Who likes doing Twitter? But on Twitter, and this is a very interesting demographic, the fastest growing age demographic on Twitter are ages 55 to 64.
Oh, that's what
I don't know. But if that is your target market, don't you think it would be important to have an active presence? Google Plus. And I can tell you that these statistics are not current. These are probably 2-3 months old, so they're all wrong. Google Plus is growing completely crazy, and now that they've changed a lot of their algorithms and stuff, it's even more. But what I wanted to point out here is 40% of the marketers use Google. That's a high number, okay? 70% desire to learn more, and 67% plan to increase their Google Plus activities. 67% plan to increase their activities. Do you think you might want to be there? Yeah. LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is designed as a B2B platform. Notice again, 27% use their mobiles to gain access. The groups within LinkedIn, that's where you start leveraging some of that. That's where you can start getting in front. How many of you have a LinkedIn account? Oh, awesome. How many of you post in your LinkedIn account regularly? Not very many.
Define regular.
Thank you. Not daily.
Yeah, I would do it a couple of times a week. Again, it needs to be relevant content. Nobody cares what you're going to eat for dinner.
Amen.
Okay? However, if you have a tip or a business discussion to share, or advice, or training, or help, this is a great platform to do that. If you are a B2B business, you should be posting regularly on there. That is your demographics. Instagram. Who does Instagram? Wow. And by the way, I promote using social media. It is my specialty is using social media for marketing. and I'm going to stand here and tell you it is my least favorite activity to do in the world. Okay? Because it can be extremely time consuming. If you've ever gone on Pinterest, you know there is no such thing as a quick check-in on Pinterest. It's a 5-hour activity. No, you just get sucked in. It's just too much fun, and you just see too much, and you just go from one week to the next, to the next, to the next. It is not hard to do it. It's a very easy platform to use. You just get into it. It's very. Any question back there?
I have a question about, because I know Instagram was in trouble for a while ago, it's an ethical question. Are they still using user photos for their own promotions without reimbursement or knowledge to the user? Did they go away from that?
No. No, they put out a release. I mean, you can't catch up with anything from before that, but they did put out a release.
Now, Instagram is where you post pictures. Now, you need to remember, you need to be looking at that again at your demographics. Every second, 8,000 users like a photo on Instagram.
What are you guys working?
Yeah, really.
Just saying. Exactly. 5 million videos are being shared within 24 hours of launching it on Instagram. Yeah. Pinterest. I can tell you these numbers are not accurate. Did you know Pinterest has only been out for 18 months?
Yeah, very, very.
It is one of the fastest growing platforms that have ever been created. 80% of the users are female. Only 6% of the Pinterest users have their accounts linked to Facebook.
That's like,
very interesting. They just don't take the time to do it. It's just an extra step, and you know, you have to confirm it and different things. Now, these are not the current statistics. This changes weekly, okay? And I would imagine that the 6% is much higher now because people are learning more and more. Pinterest is a great platform to sell. You cannot sell on Pinterest. What you do is you post a picture, you put a header, use keywords, and you take them back to your website, okay? All of your social media, everything you do on social media needs to take you back to the website. If you do not have a good, optimized website, then don't be putting tremendous amount of time and energy and money into your social media because it's not doing you any good. You're not sending them anywhere. There's no way for them to buy and engage with you. Everybody thinks, oh, I got to do all the social media because that's what everybody's telling me. If you do not have a relevant, optimized, highly rich in content website, really, you have to look at that. When you're a couple of other facts, there are more than 1 billion unique monthly visitors on YouTube. More than 1 billion per month.
What's unique?
To do what? To be up there, to be recognized or something?
Yes. 4.2 million people use their mobile devices to tie into their social media devices. Now, here's something we did not mention, and I'm going to throw this out there. Is your website mobile? It has to be created that way. If it's not, okay, think about this. If your website is not, and 4.2 million people use their devices, it's not, what they're going to do is it's not going to look right. They've got to shift over, and they're not seeing it. They're just going to get aggravated and go to somebody else who's easier to look at. You want them to land on your page. You want them to engage with you. You want them to continue. Women check out a brand social page more often than men, which means women are looking at social media before they buy. That's why Pinterest is so hot.
That's the whole new discussion there, isn't it?
Whole new thing. We're not going to go quite into that. Primarily though, and we have on our blog, there's a video that I highly recommend about the social media optimization. We have a product that will do that for you. I really don't want you in here all night, so I'm kind of going through that, but I do want you to know that that is there and available. But what I want you to do, and what I'm trying,
I'm sorry, what is that?
it's on our blog. It's social media optimization.
Are you gonna have classes in it?
Yes, we are most definitely going to have classes in it. And what we'll do in the classes is we're going to take it to the point where we're going to break them down into like Facebook. Setting up Facebook, and helping you through some of that, something as simple as that, and then taking you to the bigger picture of the optimization and stuff like that.
Are there people out there that actually do this for you?
Yes, there are. And I'll tell you what, that is definitely something to consider. Because, did I not mention earlier that this can be a time suck?
Yes.
And have you not learned today that it is very, very important to make what you're doing online effective? Okay? And it needs to be optimized. You need to make sure you have keywords in there. Social media is the exact same way. And if you post something on Facebook, you want it to post on your Twitter account. If you post something on Pinterest, you're going to want it to post out on Twitter. You're going to want it to post out on Facebook because you want to hit all of the users. There are things like, when are your followers online? Okay, in Facebook, don't you want to be at the top of the feed? Don't you want to know when your people are online? If you're posting your things on Facebook at 9 o'clock in the morning and all of your friends aren't on there until 11, where do you think your post is going to end up in their feed? They're not even going to see you. So there are so many things that need to be taken into account. And Catherine's right. That is something to consider. But what I want to do, I've passed out a form. On the back side are a list of our classes. There are classes at the top that we will be offering, that Marianne and I will be doing the training and all of that. There are a list of classes down at the bottom that we are going to bring in experts to teach and offer those courses because we both are extremely passionate about business owners. You do not necessarily know what you don't know. And you can't do everything, and you need help. And that's what this training room is for. So, on the other side, I'm going to, we're going to take just a couple minutes because I want to talk about what to do with all of this. We've given you a lot of information. I don't know about you, but my head feels a little heavy, right?
I'm trying to remember what is nap.
The thing you want to do at 3 in the afternoon, that's what the nap is.
Name, address, and phone.
But about now, that's what you're thinking, right? Especially because it's gotten warm in here, and we do apologize for that. But you need to start, okay? And planning. Marianne talked a lot about that. Goal setting, determining where you want to go, your attitude, okay? Your attitude has a great deal to do with how successful you are, okay? If you believe you're successful, you can be successful, right? If you tell yourself you're not successful, then what happens? You're not successful, okay? If you tell yourself I can't learn this, then guess what? You're going to prove yourself right every single time. We're going to give you the tools, the support that's going to help you, but you have to take the can-do attitude, okay? Now, our tagline, if you'll look on there, we have renewed our tagline, and it is delivering success for those who are driven to succeed. And that is a very powerful statement. Everything we've taught you is about getting seen, getting heard, and getting found. That's what it all came down to, right? And that's what you've got to do. You have to know your market. This is another thing when you're looking through this. You need to be the answer to their problem. Have you thought about that? You need to be the answer to their problem. Their house looks like crap. It's falling down. You're the answer. That's what you need to tell them. That's how you need to direct your app. You're the answer to their problem. Catherine, you're the answer to the problem. You need to tell them what problem you're the answer to. That's very, very, very important. So don't forget that piece, okay? You need to make sure you use clear, concise language. Be concrete. Your house looks like crap. I'm going to fix it. That's concrete.
Maybe not those words.
I probably would use those words. But you know what? I'm trying to get a point. Be concise. Be able to communicate well with them. That comes back to your titles, your content. That comes back into that. Manage your time or it will manage you. Always work with the end in mind. Know where you want to go. Where do you want to take this? Where do you want to take your business? What is the end result of this? You're going to go on social media. What is it you want social media to do? What is it you want those posts on Facebook to do? Do you want them to bring them to an event? Do you want them to go to your website? Do you want them to engage with you? Do you want them to refer you? Know what it is that you want that to do. And I'm not doing the slides. We're going to go through that. On the back, there are an activity, and I would like for you to just take a couple of minutes. We're going to be coming into our ribbon cutting soon. What do you feel is your weakest area? Write down 3 things. What do you feel is your weakest area? We've gone over a lot. Write down the 3 top things that you feel you're weakest in. Let's just start with 3, because we're going to eat that elephant one bite at a time. So just start with 3. Take a moment.
I would marry on my social media. I'm going to be married. I don't know how to marry. So you can marry? Yeah, they have to be married. Which one is important? I got my order 3, and then we have to do 10. And I have to do
Okay, the next question. It talks about what 3 action steps are you going to take. Remember, we're going to eat this elephant one bite at a time. Do not try and do everything. What 3 things are you going to do now? Okay, what are the first 3 things you're going to do? You stated what you're weakest at. Now, write down 3 things you're going to do. The last thing that I have on the list, and you may want to take this back and work on this back in your office, is to list 10 things that you can do to get found online. And I'm not talking about it all. Post on Facebook. If you don't have a Facebook account, get a Facebook account. Do the reputation. Pull the reports. 10 things that you can do from what you learned today to get found online. I know. Do not recommend that. That would not be my first choice. Probably wouldn't even be my 10th. We've also handed out an evaluation form. This is our first class, and you can put on the top. Marianne's still passing around. You can put on the top air conditioning. Because I can tell you this room is perfect all the time, but then we put 40 bodies in here and maybe not. So, right here, please take a moment to fill this out. This is very, very, very important to us. Because with these, we will take and evaluate. We want to deliver to you the very best that we can. We want to help you succeed from the very, very bottom of our heart. Marianne and I merged our companies for that specific reason. so that we can now help you with the entire aspects of your business. My book that'll be coming out, that's what it's going to be dealing with, is the questions you need to know on how to hire, do payroll and banking and merchant services and the whole gamut, okay? That's what our training center is designed to do. We're very, very passionate to see you succeed. If there is anything that Mary Ann or I can ever do for you, please do not hesitate to contact us. I urge you to take advantage of the free reports, please. And if you have any questions with those, don't hesitate to ask. We're going to do our ribbon cutting in about 45 minutes. We have some food out there. It's a little cooler. So we encourage you. We are going to stay in here. If you have any questions, we'll be in here to answer. We'll be around all evening that we can answer questions for you. And we would like to thank you so very, very much.
One question before you up and leave.
Yes.
Do I understand the website that you developed for anybody is already mobile responsive? They don't have to pay extra?
They are completely mobile responsive. That means your cell phone, your tablet.
Thank you.
All of that, yes.
So there's lots of food and soft drinks and that sort of thing. And questions again, you can leave your surveys if you want to just leave them in the box. Corey's got the box back there. Is that what you're
Got the
saying?
no, I got the business card.
Cards, you free box.
Oh, cool.
Yes, I'm very serious. Yeah. We also have a couple more to give away at the ribbon cutting, and we really hope you stay for that. We really, really appreciate that you guys came. I hope that you enjoyed it, and we really appreciate your comments because that's how we're going to get better. This was the first time we did this, so we're you know, it's a learning for us as well. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Not easy.
Mary Ann, am I picking up these forms?
Yes.
All right. Appreciate it. Maybe I'll buy a steak dinner. Is that steak dinner?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Well, you know,
I didn't realize that was you until I finally saw you. I got the zone, you know. Oh, thank you. I'm going to. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yep, that's where we go.
Thank you.
Are you going to be at the state next week? Did I hear? I thought it was next week. Well, I'm really behind the time. I don't know what day is what. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I've only, I My first one last week, January. That's the one that that's the one that's going
But I'm kind of. 90%
Well, I didn't have one, and one that is from a main tag. I didn't know. I tell you, so I
Monday, you got a phone, said, "What's the name of the Just what we do.
you can take this on
Jimmy
the
Clown.
everything by something, you're notified, you sit in that. So, I mean, that's like the way to go. Have you ever heard, you ever talked to nice to meet you, Terry? But I'll tell you, if we do, just return to you like, oh, you do? Oh, okay. Oh, good. Okay, I was gonna say. I try to tell everybody about that. It's right. I never sold anything. I'm paying on the side.
I'm jealous because I told my cousin about it. And he's made more sales.
I know, it's just like, okay, but it's a cool site. It's got so much neat things. That is really exciting. I mean, I'm just like, I used to like, when I first went on, I was visiting it regularly, you know, when we first looked up all the recent sales, you know, it's just like, it all shot me to some of what sold. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they're
And I'm
Perfect.